Today we have a 2006 Toyota Camry. We'll be replacing the motor mounts. Alright y'all, so the two mounts that we'll be replacing today is going to be the engine torque rod mount right here, located on the passenger side of the vehicle, as well as the front mount right there. Probably going to start off with this one here. I believe this is a number 14 on both ends, so I'm going to go ahead and get these removed, and we'll get the next step. Now, before I actually remove the two bolts holding this mount in place here, I'm going to use a jack stand with a little 2x4 under the oil pan there, and just slightly lifting it up so that there's no strain in this area of the engine here. So now that I have it lifted up slightly, I'm going to go ahead and remove this two number 14s here. I'm just going to pop them out, and then we'll get this out and get the new one installed. Now that I removed both 14mm bolts, I'm just going to go ahead and slide it out like so, and get our new one slid in. So with our new one here, be sure to transfer this little covers from the old mount. So just go, once you do so, just slide it in like so. Go ahead and get these covers in. Now that it's slid in, I'm going to go ahead and just set my bolts in place and then tighten them both evenly with my impact gun. Now that we have our new mount installed, I'm going to go ahead and release the jack here, allowing the weight to sit on it, and get the jack out the way. So now we're going to move on to the front mount here, which first we're going to have to get under the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this vehicle up to expose the three nuts below. Now that we're under the vehicle, we're going to use a 14mm deep socket to remove three nuts. As you can see, the front mount is located right here. I also went ahead and made a little mark here just to line it up with the new mount. Sometimes these mounts will not be even around. They'll be slightly, I guess, skewed in a way so that they only can fit in one direction. So I just went ahead and did this just so I can match it up with the new mount. But anyways, just what you're going to do is just slightly remove this cover down here. One of the 14mm bolts will be located within here, the front one here, and the other one here, where I marked this here. So with a 14mm deep socket, we'll remove these three nuts, and then we're going to lower the vehicle, jack up the engine just slightly like we did earlier, and remove the other mounts the other bolts up top for this mount. So now that we're on the back on the top side of the vehicle here, we're going to remove this 17mm bolt on the mount here. Doing so, hopefully once we do so, we can kind of slide the mount beneath it out. However, if we cannot do that, there are three 14mm bolts here holding this to the bell housing that we can also remove to get the whole bracket out. However, I'm just going to try this out first. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to get to here, remove those bolts, and just take the whole thing out. So let's get this going. Alright, so we have our new mount here and our old one here. I did have to go ahead and remove the entire bracket to get this out. No big deal. So as you can see where I placed that mark to show that this is the back portion of the mount here, I can now line it up to see how what position this new one should go in. As you can see, there's also an arrow. Don't really listen to that because as you can see, this thing can actually rotate around, which can throw you off. So now that I know that this is the correct way it should be facing, I also went, just to give a little FYI, I put a dot on each corner here to show the orientation it should be in, and this kind of matches up perfectly well. So now I'm going to go ahead and place this in. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this up in here. Alright, so I got my mount in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this bracket back in. Goes this way, like so. And then I'm gonna just loosely put the bolts in and tighten everything down evenly at once, and then we'll go back down and tighten the nuts at the bottom. So let's get these done here. Alright, also I got my bracket in place now, as well as the 17mm bolt on my mount. So now all I gotta do is just go under and tighten those nuts down there, and we're pretty much done. Also an FYI, I forgot to mention earlier, when I'm getting this bracket off, I did have to move my jack and place it under the transmission side just to help even it out here to get it off, and also it makes it easier to get back in. So besides all that, everything's tightened up down here. So now I'm gonna just lift the vehicle up and tighten those nuts and we'll be done. All right, so my nuts are all tightened down here. Everything's tightened up there. So now I'm done putting all the mounts on and everything's good. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, more videos to come, y'all.